This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by MEI and MouseFan Travel, who specialize in cruises and vacation packages to Disney and other destinations around the world. MEI and MouseFan Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner and the recommended vacation planner for allears.net. They provide their signature services with no additional agency fees. To get your free no-obligation quote, visit www.mousefantravel.com.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Wednesday, November 21st, 2007, and this is episode 338 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from StudioCentral.com. On the show today, we've got Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com and All Ears Net. Happy Wednesday, Mike.
Sicko, if your brains were dynamite, you couldn't blow your nose.
That would be
Cranium Command.
Very good. Also here, we have Len Testa, who's the co-author of the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. Hi, Len.
And your life coach and spiritual advisor.
Ah, yes. On the bottom of all my business cards, it says that.
Exactly. Good.
And backing me up as usual, it's Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Mike, just, what is it, week and a half and we're on a cruise.
Yeah, I'm scared already.
Is it really a week and a half?
Week and a half, baby.
Yeah. A week from this Saturday.
Well, it's Wednesday, and we're answering your listener questions, and we're going to begin with Dennis Dunkman of Indianapolis, Indiana, who writes, I'm staying at the Boardwalk Inn beginning on December 11th, timed to avoid the massive crowds at Mousefest. My master plan was to take the Yuletide Fantasy Tour, which according to all the internet sources that I could find began at 9 a.m., check in after the tour, have a leisurely dinner, and head to the Magic Kingdom for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. Unfortunately, my travel agent booked me for the tour. I discovered that it begins at 1:30 p.m. instead of 9 a.m. Since the tour will end around 5 p.m., I want to get to the Magic Kingdom around 6 p.m. The leisurely dinner is out. Checking in is now my primary concern. Since normal check-in is at 3 p.m., I can think of 3 options. 1, check in after the tour, then rush to the Christmas party. B, check in after the Christmas party, which really is after midnight, or C, check in before the tour, probably around noon. The third option is my preference. Do Walt Disney World resorts offer early check-in? Should I call the resort a few days in advance to request an early check-in?
Yeah, they offer early check-in. What they'll do is they can take your bags, and they'll actually give you your room key. They just won't tell you what room you're in. But they can either call you. It's at the Boardwalk, right?
Yes.
The Boardwalk will call you and tell you what room you get sometime after 3 o'clock. And then just check your bags with the bellhop and ask that your bags be taken up there.
Yeah, Newell, didn't you do this in our past trip last month?
No, I just checked in late.
Usually, whenever I do it, I mean, I don't even have to say, but I'm Lou Mangello. Damn it! They just offer it. So yeah, you should be able to do it. No problem.
Great. Next email's from Matt from Livermore, California. It's, hey, Matt, Mike, and Len. I finally had enough of the quote-unquote joys of the Walt Disney World bus system and plan to rent a car on our next trip. Feel free to change car to speeder, hovercraft, personal teleportation cylinder, or whatever the most common mode of personal transportation happens to be when you get this email. However, we're a family of 4, and I still want to use Magical Express because it's a lot easier than schlepping around the airport with 2 kids in a smart cart piled 8 feet high with luggage, car seats, and golf clubs. So I want to rent a car at Walt Disney World, not at the airport. What is the easiest way to go about this? Will they bring the car to the Walt Disney World Resort? Should I expect to pay more because I'm renting at Walt Disney World instead of the airport? Can Scopa just pick me up? How can Van Halen be Van Halen without Michael Anthony? Thanks, if it was good work.
Oh,
Those are
man,
important
a lot of
questions.
No. For me, the answer is no.
For me, the answer is
Michael Anthony's not important?
Yeah,
You can,
yeah.
But you can rent a car from the what's it called? Oh, God, I'm blanking on the name. At the Magic Kingdom.
Dolphin,
Car Care Center.
The Car Care Center, yeah. The Dolphin also has the Dolphin and the Car Care Center have the same rates, by the way.
Yes. And that's Alamo and National are available?
It's national, yeah.
Yeah. So you can rent them over there. Just put in, what is it, Len? You put in Lake Buena Vista when you're searching from their website?
Yeah, what do you put?
I thought it was. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you put in for the city. You put Lake Buena Vista as opposed to Orlando. I think it'll pick it up for Orlando, but Orlando, I think by default is the airport.
Yeah, definitely don't book us. Yeah, try Lake Buena Vista and see what happens. And you might have to do some searching from the national website. You are going to pay a little bit more couple of percent more. For an economy and a compact. For mid-size, there's a considerable difference, and like 20%. And then for minivans, it's more like 30-35% difference. They're roughly comparable prices for economies and compacts, but for mid-size and minivans, we actually have this on the website. The difference is pretty big.
Will Almo pick you up?
No, but Enterprise will.
How do you get to the
There's one on Narcoossee Road, actually, that's closest to the airport. They'll actually pick you up and drop you off at the airport.
So you have to get yourself to the car care center by taxi or something else, right?
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
I thought they have a shuttle.
No, but they might, though. But I bet you this question comes up all the time, because if you could get there, then you wouldn't need the car, right?
Yeah, I think they have a shuttle. I want to say I've heard that they have one.
Oh, it's a call and ask the question, yeah.
Next email's from Bill Fulkerson, who writes, "Hey guys, Bill from Melrose, Massachusetts here.
Bill.
I have a couple questions about All-Star Music. I'll be staying there for Mouse Fest this December. That's 2007, just so you know. I am traveling solo and will have to have some work that I need to get done while I'm there. So as far as internet service, what is provided, and as far as the cost, what can I expect to pay?" It's $9.95 a day, right?
Yeah,
and the service is pretty good.
24-hour period.
Yeah, 24 hours. Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad, no.
It's reasonably fast. You can get streaming audio. You can FTP. You can do all your normal work that you need to do.
Yeah. Bill also writes, "Also, unlike a lot of people, I don't mind being a ways away from the hub. Actually, I like it more. It's normally much more calm and quiet, and I don't mind walking a distance. So what building or buildings would you guys recommend to be nice and quiet at All-Star Music? Thanks for the show and killing time on my drive to and from work, unless, of course, you guys don't get this before December, and I am forced to send it to Lou. Thanks again. I kid because I care." I don't know about I don't know about you, Len, but I talked to my fiance who worked at All-Star Music, and she said that the Country Fair buildings, as long as you don't mind the walk, they're the nicest, because especially the ones that face the woods over there, it's really serene. It's supposed to be very nice. All the cast members that used to have to work in the Country Fair buildings liked it because no one ever stayed there, so there's not much to do.
But didn't I send you this question on my own like a couple weeks ago?
I don't know if it was for music or sports, but yeah, go ahead, Lon.
No, that was it. That was
it.
That was the answer.
Yeah, Country Fair is
once again, I agree with Marissa.
Next email's from Brad, who writes, "Hey guys, my wife and I are celebrating our 20th anniversary soon, and we've planned a short trip to Walt Disney World. We're in our early 40s and on a very tight budget, so we can only afford 4 days at Walt Disney World, 1 day for each park. I'd like some suggestions of what we can do within Walt Disney World that would be on the quote-unquote romantic side of things. We're not overly mushy or sappy, so I don't want to go over the top, and things like the Disney weddings and vow renewals are out of our price range. I'm thinking of something like getting her a massage at Saratoga Springs Spa or something. Your recommendations?"
Ooh, it's a good choice. I think Saratoga Springs is the better spot of the two. You could do, you could just kick back at the Polynesian on the beach with
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
go ahead, Scopa.
Watch Wishes from the swing.
Wishes.
Beach,
Yeah, that's a great option right there. Also, I would say, even going for things that don't cost money, go to the Wishing Well and the Magic Kingdom, which is behind the castle. It's very romantic over there. You can make a wish for the next 20 years or something overly sappy like that. Any other suggestions for romantic things to do?
Stroll along. What's the name of that river at Port Orleans?
Sassagoula River.
Sassagoula.
Yeah, just
Sassagoula.
a walk.
Saragusa, the Tony Saragusa River.
Tony Saragusa, yes.
Sassagoula. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, take a walk, and there's a Wishing Well in Port Orleans, French Quarter, too.
Me and you and me, both of us together. Go ahead.
Next email is from Jeff Peterson of Ramona, California. He writes, "Hello, I'm just following up a question from episode 302 from Granton in Minneapolis."
From episode 5. Go ahead.
He said he was looking for a book he saw in Epcot during his trip in November 2005. He said that this book compared in Disney parks in Anaheim, Orlando, Tokyo, and Paris. Len suggested One Day at Disney, which featured photographs taken at the same time and date, but I believe the book that Grant saw was Around the World of Disney by Kevin Markey. This book is currently out of stock, but it looks like you can get a used copy for $8 or $9 via Amazon sellers.
Oh, cool. Oh, very good.
Thanks very much. Next email is from Terry, who writes, When touring the Great Movie Ride, a favorite of ours, I noticed an unusual little piece of equipment that I was wondering if you could shed some light on. When the car stops in the Oz scene, as in The Wizard, not the prison, if you get off to the left, somehow I forgot about that Oz scene in the in the Great Movie Ride. If you looked off to the left and slightly in front, you see what looks like a small area set aside for the cast member to stand. This is positioned somewhat directly across from Judy Garland, while all start to direct her to follow the yellow brick road. There's also a hardwired microphone there, a Shure SM57, I believe. What is the mic used for? The car itself has its own mic for the cast member to use. We have taken the tour numerous times, but never seen it used. Any ideas?
I think didn't it date back to when the tour first started? That there was another jumping off point there for the cast member.
Well, they have the two hijack scenes. One's in the Western scene and one's in the gangster scene.
Right.
But this is in the Oz scene. I'm not sure what. I don't remember seeing it.
I think back in the day, this would be a great question for Mike Lee over at Widen Your World.
Mm-hmm.
We'll follow up. I think there were more times when the cast member driving the car would jump out and do more animated stuff. Not more animated like cartoonish, but more animated like moving around.
Gotcha.
I think so. I'll check with Mike.
Next email's from Tanya from Indiana, who's known as Tiki Poo on WDW Today. Hoorah! Tiki Poo. My family and I are going to be planning a trip for fall 2009. I haven't heard anything lately from you guys about any rumors or news of any rehab, shutdowns, or new rides that may be coming. Do you have any inside info that you could speculate about? I'm mostly concerned about Space Mountain.
That's the one.
Fall 2009?
I don't know if it's going to be. I think that it will be about a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing
Somewhere
too. A full year.
9 months to a year, and I'm guessing it's going to happen fairly soon. That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah, there's nothing else that I've heard.
I haven't heard either, and I think a lot of it is before making big announcements, Disney's waiting to see what's going to happen with the Harry Potter park over at Universal, so they know what they're competing with, because they would hate to spend a bunch of money and then come up short against that. The other thing is a lot of the money is going to DCA in California.
Yes.
In terms of domestic investment in theme parks, that's really where the money's going. So I don't expect to hear anything new from Disney in terms of major rides until at least the end of 2008.
The only thing I heard of a rumor was there was going to be another small coaster added near Toy Story Mania to the left of it, where the old Mickey Mouse meet and greet used to be, but that's really rumored, and I wouldn't.
Like Primeval World.
Yeah, more like more like the more like the Crushes coaster from Disneyland Paris.
Oh, okay.
It was going to be Ratatouille themed, I think, even at some point. Yeah. But again, it's really down the line and really rumored. So
let's not forget Nine Dragons will be down.
Villain Park.
Next email is from Jake Thompson of Kissimmee, Florida, also known as Blixit, on the forums at studiocentral.com. Hoorah! Anyway, I've really been interested in starting my own podcast.
When did this become? Wait, hold on. When did this become the History Channel's mail call? Hoorah!
he's a big
Sergeant, whatever that dude's name is.
That's just
Arlie. I would like to. I've really been interested in starting my own podcast. I would like to do a Walt Disney World podcast, but I'm not sure if I can make any difference from the gazillion Disney podcasts out there. I've been inspired by Walt Disney World Today and the Inside the Magic, as well as others. What would be the best approach for starting my own Disney one-man podcast? I love the show, especially when one of you is gone and the rest of you take shots at the missing person.
That's what I would do. I'd do a show of popping shots at everybody else.
Yeah, we should do that, actually. That'd be fun. So I think you should... first of all, you have to come up with a clever name for the podcast, because without the name, really the name is what people see when they're sorting through like the lists on iTunes. I like the name I'm Lou Mongello.
That'd be an excellent name
for the podcast.
I would subscribe to that.
Yeah, exactly. Lou Mongello's podcast. In fact, and it'd be even funnier if you're not Lou Mongello, because then there'd be a whole sense of irony there that you'd want all of your listeners to get.
It would be like that. It'd be like that Eddie Murphy movie where Eddie Murphy ran for senator with the name of someone who died. Same idea.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an attorney. He'll come with a C&D.
You really have a
so
mastery
fast.
there of Eddie Murphy movies. That's really impressive.
That's right. You know me.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Steve Gutenberg references coming up next.
Was he in all the Police Academy movies?
Not all of them. I think he missed the last couple.
Good for him.
But he was on Law and Order not too long ago.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Good luck with the good luck, bro.
With the podcast. Here's the problem. He's asking us, and really we don't know. I mean, Newell keeps us on the air. I don't know how any of it happens. Look at us.
But I do not get paid. If someone's willing to pay, maybe we could do another show here.
Exactly.
Next email's from Dave Ken, who's one of your 17 West Coast listeners in Los Angeles, who writes, "Hi guys, big fan of your podcast, but I guess I'm a relative latecomer to it. Can you share the aforementioned in episode 305 Narcoossee's joke? I look up the show notes and see the link for episode 110, which doesn't seem to be available via streaming or download. I'll have to fix that.
What?
Episode 110 should be available, but I'll fix that. Can someone quickly explain the Narcoossee's joke?
I could do it. So the Narcoossee's joke was we were answering listener email just like we were doing now. Somebody wrote in and said that we had given a bad rap to Narcoossee's, that it had this 30-something young vibe to it, and we definitely need to reconsider it. So I was reading the Unofficial Guide's review for it, and I was actually making up stuff as I was reading the review. Scopa, meanwhile, was checking out the Disney dining plan credits for it. And so while I was riffing at the very end of my Unofficial Guide riff, I said, don't let the 30-something vibe fool you, because I was parroting what the writer had said. It's really a wife-swapping club after hours. And just as I finished that, Scopa had said, and it's two table service credits. Right. He was still talking about something else. I thought he referenced that wife swapping was table service credits. And then we realized no one knew what the other one was talking about, and that made it even funnier. I think we laughed for 10 minutes about it. With that.
Check the link for episode 110 in this week's shoutouts. I'll fix the link, and you'll be able to listen to it.
The joke is that Narcoossee's is where you go for wife swapping or spouse swapping. Anyway.
Exactly. Next email's from Elizabeth in Edmond, Oklahoma, who writes, Matt, Mike, and Len, I love the podcast. Thank you, and please keep up the great work. It's a highlight of my week. I would appreciate suggestions for a dining with my family at Epcot. There will be 3 adults, a 3-year-old, and an 8-month-old who's not going to be dining. We are planning to spend the day at World Showcase on December 21st. We're doing the Future World activities on December 17th, and we'll be having lunch that day at Le Cellier and dinner at the Garden Grill. What would you suggest for lunch or dinner options? My family tends to not be very adventurous in dining, and my son has a tree nut allergy, which usually means no Asian cuisine.
Okay, so for World Showcase, beer garden is an option. The thing with small children is you don't want to be in too quiet a setting, because kids can be kids and be a little bit loud. Beer garden is really loud, and the food, although it's sort of German, is pretty close to what Americans are used to eating. I think that's probably a safe choice.
I really think you should. I know you guys said you're not very adventurous. I would try Restaurant Marrakesh. I really don't think it's that crazy. It's not like they give you like eel on top of squid or something and like, them's good eating,
Yeah, you're right, Matt. It's very bland. I find it almost disappointing. I thought it was going to be, more spicy, but it's bland. I'd second that choice.
It's mild. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's bland. It's
bland. Yeah. I think that's what you're trying to say.
That might be just a little more adventurous, although I think it's tasty. The other choice would be Japan, if you can get in Teppan Edo, which is just like the Japanese restaurants, even in Oklahoma.
Next email is from Michael Ruth of Schenectady, New York, who writes, Matt, Len, Mike, and Mike, I was leisurely delivering my mail yesterday. Yes, I'm a mail carrier. Listening to your podcast and laughing to myself due to another joke made at the expense of Mike's age. So I started thinking about age and what would be behind Mike's apparent longevity. Yeah. My mind wandered a bit, and I thought about one of my favorite movies from back in my younger days, Highlander, starring the renowned Christopher Lambert. And then it dawned on me that Mike may be one of these immortals, one who has lived through history and time, seemingly unscathed by its ravages. Finally, I thought of a slogan for Mike, one he could put on a t-shirt and sell tens of tens, well, maybe a handful. It would read, on the reverse, Scopa, there can be only one. On the front left chest is the normal logo spot, could be the WDW Today logo. Of course, the t-shirt itself is white. Oh, this, of course, is the slogan for the movie, There Can Only Be One, and one of you must have seen it, yes? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a great movie. It was actually on...
Not the movie, the idea.
I love the idea, too, but the movie was good as well. Sean Connery was in the original, if you recall.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, it was pretty good. He's Christopher Lambert's an art dealer, and he finds out he's the one, and I guess the first half of the movie is him coming to grips with the fact that he's one of the one. Anyway, There's some good flashbacks in it. I thought it was a great movie. Yeah.
Next email is from Patrick DiCaprio, who runs the Fantasy Baseball General blog. Go ahead, Len.
I like the idea too. I think it's funny. Scopa, there can be only one. Of course, that means that Scopa has the sword somewhere in his presence. But anyway, go ahead.
Although Newell, we should share the idea that some people keep on having running jokes, Scopa for president, and we should put on the back of it, Scopa for president, and the back it says 1876.
he's the undercard of the Ulysses S. Grant.
That's right.
Scopa Lincoln.
Next email is again for Patrick DiCaprio. It's, why do you guys ride Lou Mongello so much? I don't know anything about him, so I'm curious. On Wednesday, we're talking about Newell giving about the Newell giveaway of baseball bats, even though you brought him up. What gives? Thanks, love the podcast. Well, let me explain to you who Lou Mongello is. He's a very snide, unprofessional, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, yes, jerk. So that's why we make fun of him quite a bit.
There are people who don't know the joke and won't get it. So Lou writes the.
He's right about that.
Yeah, that's true. People won't get the joke. Lou writes the Walt Disney World Trivia book, volumes volumes 1 and 2, and is a dear friend of all of ours, and he's just a great guy. And Newell, I'm assuming you're going to delete all of this so that it doesn't actually end up on the show. But he's a great guy, a dear friend, just one of the best people we've ever met in the Disney community, and we tease each other.
And his wife is hot.
Oh, that I'm going to edit.
Deanna
and she likes dinosaurs.
And Marianne and Nicholas are his kids. Anyway, great guy, but we good-naturedly rib each other every chance we get. So that's where it is. We wouldn't tease him if we didn't love him. So anyway,
and the best joke of the year was when we put a booster seat on his chair at Magic Meets.
So we're at Magic Meets and we're getting everything set up, and somebody pulls out a booster seat like for children because Lou is short, and puts it where Lou is supposed to sit. It was just classic.
And we put
I have photos. I'll post them.
Yeah.
And Matt has the thing for Lou's wife, but that's probably way more information than we all need to know. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Next email is from Gina from Winooski, Vermont.
Yeah, wait. Hold on. Oh yeah, you have the thing, or oh yeah, that's more information. I don't want to know.
That's why he's always trying to make an ADR at Narcoossee's with the.
Go ahead.
Gina from Vermont writes, "Gentlemen, I've been listening since the beginning and very much enjoy your podcast. It's one of the, if not the best shows around, and I still keep listening even though I have written a few times with questions and never have been lucky enough to have my question answered. But it has not deterred me yet, so I'll keep on listening. Maybe if I tell you I'm a Van Halen fan, have you read the Individual Guide 2007 and 2008 editions? I'm not a particular fan of Dinosaur. Am a fellow New Englander. Will any of this work? No question this time, since I am leaving for the world in the morning, and you would have no time to answer it anyway. Maybe I'll try with my questions before my next trip. That is maybe in about 2009. Will that be enough time? Well, if not, with this, keep the great work. It's always fun to listen to. You make the trip to and from work much more enjoyable. And for those who do not know, that is near Winooski is near Burlington. If you're not familiar with Vermont geography,
is that off of 101?
Sure. Next email is from Andrew from Gainesville, Florida, who's a grad student at the University of Florida. Writes, "Hey guys, just started listening to the show a couple weeks ago, along with a few other Disney podcasts. This has been bad news for my studies. I can't get enough info and vicarious pleasure from hearing about all your trips. Outstanding. Anyways, my question is about the extra charge for having more than 2 adults stay in a Disney resort. They don't specifically state how much it is on the Walt Disney World site. Anyone know?
10?
It used to be 5 for the values, 10 for the moderates, 15 for the
I didn't even know.
deluxe. Yeah, it used to be that. I don't know where it is
It's
these
in that
days.
$10 to $15 range, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be as much as 20 for the deluxe.
I mean, here's
I'm
the
not
thing:
sure.
if you guys can swap room keys, if your tickets are outside of your room keys, just share the room keys.
Andrew wants to know, is it possible to get away with booking a room for 2 adults and having 3 stay?
Yeah. Again, I don't know what the big deal is. They give you 2 queen beds. They don't tell you how you have to sleep. I mean, I never understood it. I mean, I understand why they're doing it from a we need to increase our profits type thing, but why does Disney care?
I guess it's a fire code thing. I'm not sure. You could get away with it.
Well, then why would they put? Well, if it's a fire code thing, why would they put 2 beds in there? They would limit
2 adults.
everything to just one bed.
Because if me and Matt are sharing a room, I am not sleeping in the same bed with him.
Exactly. Well put, Mike.
Okay.
What?
Again,
Next email.
go ahead.
I'm not
Next
doing
email's
it.
from.
I'm not doing it.
Wait, you're going to share a cabin?
You guys are going on the cruise, right?
You guys are going on a cruise together. You're sharing
Yeah.
a cabin.
Yeah.
Sunset at
I'm not
night,
saying there's anything wrong with it at all, by the way.
breeze flowing through your hair.
Exactly. The crisp, salty air.
Sunset.
Matt looking good in his tux for dinner.
Next
So
question.
he's wearing a Mr. Rourke suit, I guess, for dinner.
Exactly.
Next question.
Fine Corinthian.
Next question is from Nicole, who writes, "Hey, I'm a new listener to the show, and just to appease you, I found Walt Disney World Today a better podcast than the Walt Disney World radio show." Damn right. That's just a personal opinion, though, as I find that my busy life cannot fit a podcast that's an hour and a half long.
And that's
Take
a
that.
quickie.
That's right. That's a quickie. Very good. Anyway, I'm heading to the world in June 2008. Thought I'd give you ample notice with some friends as a celebration after our high school graduation. The main problem we've been running into is the fact that all but one will be 18 at the time, while the other will only be 17. This obviously eliminates Pleasure Island as an option for entertainment. But are there any other concerns we should have, including any travel considerations?
Renting a car is going to be, if not
Impossible.
very difficult. Yeah.
No, just use a Magical Express and use the Disney buses and deal with it.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. Do you have credit cards to travel with? 18 is usually the age at which you can get credit cards, but checking in and out, that's the thing. Not debit cards, because I think you actually have to have a credit card. Debit cards can be tricky when traveling because of the way that the hotels and other places charge the debit cards for things like rooms.
Yeah,
Other than that,
I would.
I can't think of much.
Yeah, no, the credit card. As long as the person who's 18 has a credit card, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I think.
Nicole also wants to know any recommendations among the moderate resorts.
I like Coronado Springs. I think I like the Pepper Market better than I like the food courts anywhere else. I really, in terms of food, I think that's way better than the Port Orleans resorts, which people love for the pool and whatnot. It wouldn't even be my top three.
Well, I think for teenagers, and they seem like they sounds like girls, I think they would enjoy Caribbean Beach a little bit more. But
Well, what about it's walking and they're not going to have a car?
Oh, yeah, touche. Never mind. Go away. By the way, I just want to make a quick note about how much it is per person after two people. It's $10 per night.
For everything? Across the board?
Yeah, if you have the third person costs $10 per night.
No, I mean,
would
it's
just-
value and it's across the
Yes.
board? Oh, cool.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? The issue is going to be there without the card if they do extra magic hours.
Ooh, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will be at home watching old Disney movies in the room.
Yeah. So you should probably pay the $10 then if you want to take advantage of the extra magic hours.
There you go. Well, that's it for us today. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. You can also email us at questions@wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio. This episode of Walt Disney World Today is sponsored by MEI and MouseFan Travel, who specialize in cruises and vacation packages to Disney and other destinations around the world. MEI and MouseFan Travel is an authorized Disney vacation planner and the recommended vacation planner for allears.net. They provide their signature services with no additional agency fees. To get your free no-obligation quote, visit www.mousefantravel.com.